Welcome to the PJ Hoop Podcast. I'm your host, PJ, and if this is your very first time checking out my podcast, first and foremost, I want to thank you for taking the time out of your day to check out my podcast. On my podcast, I like to talk about the NBA, high school, college, and international basketball. Today's episode, this is kind of like my end of the summer episode. I'm kind of closing out the summer, and then after this episode, my next episode, we'll be starting our NBA season preview. So we'll be doing all 30 NBA teams by each division. You're not going to want to miss that. I did it last summer, and I got really good feedback on it, so it's back again this summer. But today's episode, we're going to cover the Formula Zero camp. We're going to talk about the FIBA U16 EuroBasket tournament, and then we're going to close it out talking a little bit about the NBA schedule. Now, before I dive in on today's episode, I kind of want to make a couple announcements to you guys. First, I want to tell you that the PJ and Friends was my spinoff episode. I did that my last episode. I want to let you guys know I will be doing another episode of that in the coming weeks. In my next episode, I secured an Italian scout. He's going to come on. He's all the way over in Italy. He's going to come on and talk about some international basketball with you guys, give you guys like a really, really good deep dive on international players and stuff. Like, yes, I talk international, but I'm not super like in the know, like in it, he's like in it, so I'm gonna have him come on. I'm really excited to meet him. Like I said, he's over in Italy. So yeah, look out for that next PJ and Friends episode. It's going to be international basketball. It's going to be him coming on. So I'm really excited for that. And then later on in a couple weeks, probably in October, maybe November, I think I secured, I think he does either Division 2 or Division 3 college football. I'm going to have him come on and talk some college football with me. And that's going to be another PJ and Friends episode coming later down the line. So you're not going to want to miss that. But enough about that. Let's dive into today's episode. So let's start this episode off with the Formula Zero camp. Now, the Formula Zero camp, I actually talked about it last year. I remember last year I covered it, and the MVPs of the tournament last year were VJ Edgecombe and then Jaleel Bethy were the two MVPs, if I remember correctly. But so essentially what the Formula Zero camp is, it's literally just a camp of some of the top high school and like college basketball players. And it's actually hosted by, it's Damian Lillard's camp, essentially what it is. And it takes place, I believe in Arizona. I believe it takes place in Arizona, if I remember correctly. But yeah, I did this last year, and it had some, like I said, some really good talent last year. And earlier this summer, I was like, I feel like I need to do it again, So it just happened a couple weeks back. So kind of just want to deep dive and just talk a little bit about that, not too much. I just kind of want to give you guys like who did really well at the camp, some of the awards at the camp. It's really hard to find film on these camps, because they're kind of private in a way, there's not much footage of it. So I kind of watch the footage that I can on it. And a lot of these players I do know, and some of these players are actually going to be on my top 30 list for college basketball. Last year I did it too, where I had 30 players that I'm going to be keeping my eyes out for during the college basketball season. So some of these players will be on that. But anyways, let's start it off. I kind of want to give some love to the player. He won the high school MVP of the tournament, and he might end up reclassifying to 2026, and that's Bruce Branch III. He's a 6'7" small forward. Right now on ESPN, they got him ranked number 1 in class of 2027. 24/7 Sports got him ranked 2nd in class of 2027. I personally like to use 24/7 Sports for basketball. That's just my personal preference. I just like the way they go about it. So I wanted to give him some love because he ended up winning the MVP. But then also there was a co-MVP of the high school side of it. His name is Jalen Davis. He's ranked number 35 in class of 2027. He's a 6'4" shooting guard. And they actually were both on the winning team at the camp, so maybe it was just hard for them to differ between the two. I have seen film on Bruce Branch play. I think he's a pro. I think the kid's a pro already. I don't know anything about the Jalen Davis kid, but he will for sure be on my radar now moving forward, because I do think this is a slept-on camp. I think I kind of lucked up on some players last year at the camp, and that I ended up following through in high school, through the rest of high school, and then going into college. So I really like this camp. So this Jalen Davis kid is somebody that will be on my radar. I don't know much about him at all, but he's now on my radar. So now the kid that's winning the college MVP at the tournament, his name is Matt Abel. He's ranked number 28 in class of 2025. Actually, this is one of the people that is on my top 30 list going into college basketball this year. He will be a freshman this year at North Carolina State. And I just think he's going to be a pit bull, bro. I think he's going to shock some people. I would not be surprised. We'll see how, obviously, the season goes and what his utilization rate is going to be at North Carolina State. But I really like him as an NBA prospect. I think he has one and done written on him. I really do. We'll see what happens when he gets to North Carolina State. The kid can score with both hands. You couldn't even tell which is his dominant hand. He does well with both hands. I like him a lot. I'm really, really excited to watch him at North Carolina State. Remember the name Matt Abel, okay? Remember that name. And then he had he had a different award, which I think this award's kind of cool. It's called it was a Pit Bull Competitor Award. It went to two players. One is Sadiq White. He's a 6'8" small forward, class of 2025. So he'd be a freshman this year. He's ranked number 26. He's going to Syracuse. I've seen his name before. And I've read stuff on him a little bit, but I have not really watched him, right? So I'm not going to sit up here and give you guys an opinion about him, but I don't think he's on my top 30 list of players that I'm going to be watching out for during the college basketball season. I don't think he is, but yeah, he's going to be a freshman at Syracuse. And then another player, his name is Luke Ertel. Luke Ertel. He's a 6'2" point guard in class of 2026. He's ranked number 65. He's going to go to Purdue. And from what I've seen, I think he's going to outplay that ranking of being 65. Is he an NBA player? I don't know yet, but I do think he will make a name for himself in college basketball at Purdue. I do think it's a name that we will see. Luke Ertel. Yeah, I'm going to give it up. The last award that I was going to kind of just briefly talk about, they had a Most Improved award at the camp. One of the players that won it was Mackenzie Mbako. He's a junior. He's going to be, he's a junior at Indiana. Funny story. I'm a Duke fan, so that's why I'm about to say what I'm about to say. But he originally committed to Duke, and then he decommitted from Duke and then ended up going to Indiana. But yeah, he's done pretty well at Indiana. So look out for him this upcoming season. He was on my top 30 to watch list last year going into his sophomore year at Indiana. But he's not on my list this year. But yeah, Mackenzie Mbako was one of the Most Improved award winners. Another one was, I don't even want to try to pronounce his name. It's Baba Aladatun. I've talked about him a couple times on my pod to you guys. He actually did reclassify to class of 2026. He was the number 1 rated player in class of 2027. And I told you guys, I've been on here, I've told you guys on the record, I think he kind of plays like a Brandon Ingram a little bit. Very, very funky. His jump shot is really weird. Really, really weird jump shot. But I think in class of 26, I think they got him ranked at, I don't have it written down. I think they got him ranked at 8. I think he's ranked 8 or 9 because he reclassified and he hasn't committed yet. But he ended up winning. He was Most Improved player at that camp with Mackenzie Mbako. Now, I wish I could give you guys more deep dive on the camp and stuff. But again, it's really hard to find footage on this camp. Last year, it was a lot easier for me last year to find footage on the camp. But this year was a little bit more, a little harder. But I gave you information on these players. And like I said, some of these players, as time moves forward, these names will continuously come up on my pod. And a lot of these players are players that I probably will be keeping my eyes out for. Very few of these guys I did not know who they were. But yeah, so that's the Formula Zero camp. You guys let me know down in the comment section below if you knew any of the players that I named, and what are your thoughts on these players? Do you have a deep dive? Do you have a scouting report on any of these players that you would like to share with the community? You guys let me know down in the comment section. Now, my next segment is going to be the FIBA U16 EuroBasket tournament. Now, with this tournament, I strictly was paying attention to this tournament for one player, and I'm going to talk about him in a little bit. And that was Tony Garma. That was the main reason why I was watching this tournament. But there was two other players during this tournament that caught my eye. Originally, I was just going to come on here and tell you guys just about Tony Garma. But these other two players caught my eye enough to where I'm like, okay, these kids might be pros. So one player, his name is Nicola Costa Rica. And what I'll do for you guys, I'll put their profile right up in the corner for you guys, for just in case if I botch their name or if some of the information, if you guys just want to see the information visually, I'll keep their profile right up in the corner for you guys. But yes, so first and foremost, the team that actually won the tournament was Serbia. Serbia ended up being the champs. This was the first time they ended up winning the tournament. I think in like 1 or 2 decades was the last time they won it. The MVP was a player named Nicola Costa Rica. So he not only won the MVP, but he also caught my eye throughout the tournament anyways. He's 6'7". I put him down as a shooting guard / small forward. Like I told you guys, he won the MVP. He was on the all-tournament team. To me, so what really stood out to me with this particular player was he has a really nice wingspan for his size. I think he can play some power forward. So I think he could range from a shooting guard to a power forward. I think being a power forward, you need to put on some weight. But even during this tournament, he did play some power forward. And he kind of just popped to me throughout the tournament. The thing with him, I'm going to give you guys his numbers. And then I'll kind of give you guys a little bit more on like my opinion about him, okay? So at the tournament, he averaged 20 points, 8 rebounds, 3 assists. He averaged 1.5 blocks, 2 steals. He averaged 3 turnovers. He shot 62.5% on twos. He shot 32% on threes. He shot 79% from the free throw line on 6 attempts. And now for me, like the thing with him was he had glimpses, like his passing. And this wasn't his best attribute by no means. But it's just like I noticed some of his passing, like he had some really good playmaking with his passing. He made some really flashy passes at times. And he also played the passing lanes really, really well. He also had a lot of good lead passes, right? Like a lot of transition passes. A lot of his players will be cutting towards the basket, and he's leading them to the basket with the pass to make the layup for them a lot easier. It was just like little stuff like that he was doing that just really caught my attention. And then the way he was able to score, it didn't look like he was struggling, and he played with a lot of swagger, a lot of confidence, in my opinion, as well. He had a really dominant game against Turkey. He ended up dropping 30 points. He had 12 rebounds and 5 assists. He did have 6 turnovers during that game, and I feel like a lot of those turnovers some of it was forced and some of them were unforced. But he had a really good game against Turkey during that. And another thing that I thought was kind of interesting too was like after I watched him at the tournament, I was like, why have I never heard about this kid before? Well, it comes to find out that for his club team back in Spain, the offense doesn't really run through him. He doesn't get much opportunity with the ball in his hands. So he's kind of just another guy, right? He kind of just blends in. But I'm very excited and interested to watch this upcoming year with his Spain team to see how he does. Now being like a lead guy, winning this title with Serbia. I'm interested just to see how they use him back in Spain this upcoming year. But he's for sure on my radar now. Again, I had no idea who he was, okay? Another guy that I want to talk to you guys about, and again, like I said, I'll leave his profile right up on the side of me. His name is Nathan Solomon. He's a 6'7" power forward / small forward is what I have him written down as. He plays for the French team. He made the all-tournament team as well. He ended up averaging 20 points, which was third. He averaged 10 rebounds, which was second. He averaged 2 assists, 2 blocks, and 2 steals. He shot 61% on twos. He shot 25% on threes, on 3 attempts, and he shot 70% from the free throw line. I think also, like, before I dive into a couple other things about him, I don't know. I like his jump shot. I really do like his form on his jump shot a lot more than, I don't know. I really like his form on his jump shot. I think he's a better shooter than that 25% for sure from 3. And I even think I think he might be a better free throw shooter than 70% too. Like, I don't know. When I looked at his counter numbers after watching him play and watching film on him, I'm just like, it kind of surprised me. Like, I think a better shooter than those numbers that I just told you guys, in my opinion. But he also had a very monster placement game against Spain. Against Spain, he ended up dropping 26 points and had 18 rebounds and 4 blocks. He looks way bigger than the listed height they got him at. I think they got him listed at like 6'7". He looks bigger than 6'7" to me. Like, yeah, he looks bigger than, he looks like closer maybe to 6'9", like 240, you know. Like he looks much, maybe like 235, 240. He looks bigger than what they got him listed at, in my opinion. And I couldn't find his weight, but he played the passing lanes very well. I mean, a lot of steals coming out of the passing lanes. He played the passing lanes extremely well, in my opinion. I liked his jump shot form, like I just told you guys. This was my first time ever seeing or hearing about him, but he's for sure somebody that is on my radar from here on out, because like even watching him play, it just looks so like it looked effortless and easy for him. Like it didn't look like anybody was rushing him. He had a pretty good handle too. His handle was pretty tight, but I don't know, he just got to his spots and he would just make like pro-like moves, you know, or like college level type moves. And the defenders kind of like, you know, reacted really late to his movements. He's advanced, you know, like he's for sure. I'm actually surprised he's not playing up. And he might be, like I said, this is my first time. I don't know much about him. Maybe he is going to play U17s, but he for sure, out of these 3 players that I'm going to talk to you guys about, to me, he looked the most, how do I put it? He looked the most advanced to me. Doesn't mean he got the highest upside, but right now, like I'm looking at him, like he's scoring at will, like, and he's doing these moves, and it's like the defenders are so late to react to what he's doing. But yeah, I don't know if he's a pro yet. I don't know. Like I said, I'm learning about him, but I'm just going off of what I've seen. But yeah, remember that name, Nathan Solomon. He's on my radar for sure, no doubt. The last player that I want to talk to you guys about, and the main reason why I even tuned into this tournament, is because of one Tony Garma. So Tony Garma he's kind of the next thing coming out of Europe. Like, he's the next thing. Yes, we have Mohamed Dabone. Him and Mohamed Dabone, I would say, are the next 2 things that are the next 2 big players that are supposed to, you know, prospects that are supposed to rise up. But I really do. Tony Garma, I learned about him. I'll tell you guys the story how I learned about him. So I learned about him last spring of 2024. He ended up dropping, I think, like, what is it? Is it 70? I think he might have dropped 70 in a game. I think it was like 70 or either 60 or 70 in a game. But it just, when I seen it, I was like, who's this? You know? And so since then, I kind of just been following him. So when I learned he was going to be playing up, because he's playing technically up. He's really only 15, but he's playing in this tournament with the 16s. When I learned he was playing in this tournament, I was like, oh, I got to watch this tournament. I have to. So here's the reason why I watched this tournament. He's Croatian, and he's 6'5". I just put him down as a shooting guard. The kid, he's a killer. He's just there to rip your heart out and score. Like, strictly, that's all he wants to do. He's a baby killer. He is. And I just really hope that he continues to develop. I hope he continues to play up. And I hope to see him one day in the NBA. I hope so. I really do. Because the kid, like I said, he's a killer. And I just like the swagger he plays with. His swagger, to me, like the way he kind of plays, is similar to another player that I kind of fell in love with last year. And Adam, his name is Adam Admanya. Adam Admanya he's French. And he'll be actually draft eligible next year. I talked about him on the pod. I love Adam Admanya. Like, they just both got that, like, I'm just trying to kill you. You know, I'm just trying to rip your heart out. And every time I get the ball, I'm going to put stress on you, and I'm going to try to score down your throat. Pause. But anyways, he ended up playing in the Division B at this tournament. And he had 2 games where he had 25 points during the tournament. He had 2 games where he had 25 points. The very first game of the tournament, look, I'm going to just tell you how much of a killer this kid is. Because he's a kid. He's 15. The very first game, this kid took 26 shots. And he only shot 42% on those 26 shots. And he only had 1 assist. And then he did have 13 rebounds. He's a really good rebounder for his position. Very, very good rebounder. a very good hustle player. And he had 3 turnovers, but 26 shots, man, for your very first time playing up in comp. That's just confidence, right? That is, I think I'm the best player on this court, and we're gonna get there because I'm gonna take us there, you know. But yeah, I really like him a lot. Like I said, I'm really excited to watch him. He is for sure a much better jump shooter than the 33% from 3 that he shot at this tournament. But I want to give you guys the rest of his stats at this tournament. So he averaged 17 points at the tournament, which ranked 8th. He averaged 6.5 rebounds at the tournament. He averaged 1 assist, less than a steal a game. He needs to get better on defense for sure. He averaged 2 turnovers. He shot 42% on 2s, shot 33% on 3s, and he shot 75% at the free throw line on 2 attempts. Like I told you guys, I'm not worried about his jump shot at all. Yes, he's still got a long way to go. He's only 15, but I just really enjoy watching the kid play, and I really hope he ends up, panning out to what people think he's going to become. I just hope he does, because like I said, I enjoy watching the kid play because he's fearless. He plays with such fearlessness, and I'm going to try to rip your heart out. I love players who play like that, who says, give me the ball. I'm going to put pressure on my defender every single possession. I'm coming at you every possession. I just love that. That's why I love Michael Jordan, and that's why I love Larry Bird. Larry Bird is my favorite player of all time. But yeah, so that's all I got to say about the FIBA U16 tournament. You guys let me know down in the comment section below, were there players at that tournament that you guys really liked? And if so, give us a detailed reason why down in the description. Or if you liked any of those 3 guys that I just named, give me your opinion about them down in the description below. So the last segment that I want to talk to you guys about is we're going to review the NBA schedule. Normally, last year I did it like literally right after it dropped, but this year I had other stuff I needed to do, and obviously I recorded PJ and Friends. But yeah, so we're gonna record it. We're gonna review it right now, and then like I told you guys, the next time you guys will see me, we'll be beginning our NBA season preview for all 30 NBA teams. I do a deep dive on every single team. I go division by division. The first division I'm gonna do, I'll probably do the Atlantic Division first. And we'll do the whole Eastern Conference first, and then we'll make our way through the West, okay? But yeah, so let's talk about the NBA schedule today. So just some TV news that I want to talk to you guys about. So the NBA was going to be rolling out coast to coast on Tuesday nights. It'll be so when there's a doubleheader on Tuesdays, it will push back the second doubleheader to start at 11 p.m. Eastern, 8 Pacific. So I'm sorry for all my people on the East Coast. So I just want to let you guys know about that. And then also they're going to be coming out with Sunday Night Basketball, which will air after the NFL season, starting February 1st. And then it will pause from February 8th to the 21st during the Super Bowl All-Star Weekend for the NBA, and then also the Winter Olympics. And then it'll come back on the 22nd of February till April 5th. And some nights will feature a doubleheader. So that'll be kind of cool to be able to watch Sunday Night Basketball. That'll be kind of cool to do that. And then they're doing Rival Week again, which, I mean, last year, to me, I didn't even realize it was going on last year. I didn't really care about it. So the matchups that will, and I'll leave the matchups up in the corner for you guys. You got the Lakers at Dallas. Or these are just matchups that I kind of am going to be watching. Lakers at Dallas, of course. And then Golden State versus the Timberwolves. Those are probably the only real matchups that I really care about. I wish they would have given us the matchups, if it was up to me, that I would have put out. I would have done Rockets versus OKC, or OKC versus the Spurs, or the Knicks versus Detroit, or the Cavs versus Orlando. I think those matchups, in my opinion, kind of got a little bit more animosity to them. Like Houston versus OKC, like 2 young teams. And even last year in those matchups, they were very physical. And some of the best basketball I watched all last year were against those 2 teams. And then OKC Spurs, I just enjoy watching Chet and Victor go at it, so that's why I picked that. And then Knicks Detroit, to me, just based on how their playoff series went last year, I would just like to see that. I think that's a rivalry that it could be boiling, so I wouldn't mind watching that. And then Cavs Orlando quietly has become a rivalry, in my opinion. And so I just think that's a rivalry. I just do. So I wouldn't mind watching those matchups. And then also, I also will put the TV schedule up in the corner for you guys too, so you guys can can take a look at that. I'll leave that up there for a while I read some of this other stuff to you guys. So the teams with the most national televised games are going to be OKC, Golden State, the Lakers, and Knicks. They're all tied with 34. We got the Wolves and the Rockets tied with 28. We got the Nuggets with 26, Boston with 25, Cleveland with 24, and the Mavs with 23. That's the top 6. Well, actually, that's more than 6 teams, but that's, that is 6, right? That's the top 6. And then the fewest games on national TV, which, I mean, you could probably guess what teams they are. But the teams with the fewest, with only 2, is Utah, the Wizards, Toronto, the Pelicans, and Brooklyn. They all got 2. Teams with 3 is going to be Charlotte and Chicago. Teams with 5 is going to be Miami. The team with 8 is going to be Portland. The team with 9 is going to be Sacramento, Phoenix, and Indiana. And I don't know how they define being on TV. I'm assuming it's on all their providers, because the NBA, I mean, they got so many providers now. So I don't know. I think that kind of takes the fun out of the whole national TV aspect of it. I feel like it used to be more meaningful when it was just on ESPN or TNT to me. But now, you got all these streaming sites. So I think maybe they consider those a part of national TV games. But the teams, the teams with the most back-to-back games is going to be Philadelphia, Denver, Charlotte, Phoenix, and the Wizards. They got 16. And then the teams with 15 are going to be the Clippers, the Raptors, Golden State, Pelicans, Miami, Utah, and Portland. They all got 15. Obviously, we've seen what happened. Also, I'm recording this. I forgot to tell you guys today's date. But today is Wednesday, September 3rd. The whole Kawhi thing's going on. I don't know how that's going to affect the Clippers, man. I mean, I was talking to my friends in the group chat, and they think, we were talking about it. We think they're going to get, my friend thinks the Clippers are going to get hit with something really, really heavy. I feel like they're going to get hit, I think they're going to get hit. I don't know if it's going to be super heavy, but I do think they're going to get hit for sure. I think they're going to get hit with a fine. I think Kawhi is probably going to get suspended for a good amount of games. And I think the Clippers could look at losing some draft compensation. They kind of did some money laundering. It's kind of like money laundering. Anyways, so opening night matchups, we got the Rockets versus at the Thunder. And then we got the Warriors at the Lakers. In my opinion, I would have opened up the season. I would have had either Denver and the Spurs at OKC, and then my other second half of my other doubleheader, I would have had the Lakers at Dallas. Those are the opening games I would have done. This is my opinion. So opening week, I want to give you guys the opening week. So opening week games that are going to be kind of on national TV. We got Cavs at Knicks on Wednesday. We got Spurs at Dallas on Wednesday. Thursday, we got OKC at the Pacers. We got Denver at Golden State. Friday, we got Boston at New York at the Knicks. We got the Timberwolves at the Lakers on Friday as well. And then Christmas Day, we got Cavs at the Knicks. We got the Spurs at OKC. We got Rockets at the Lakers. We got Mavs at the Warriors. We got Timberwolves in Denver. And then something that I thought was just really odd as well was just that the Clippers play 18 games in the month of March. So 2 sets of 5 games in 7 nights. They're about to get wrecked. And that hasn't happened to them since 2017. So I don't know if there's some big I don't know what's going on in March at the Intuit Dome. I have no idea, but yeah, I feel bad for the Clippers, man. Shout out to my boy Drip. But anyways, so that is the end of this episode. Again, next time you guys will see me will be for the season preview of all 30 teams. I want to thank you for taking the time out of your day to check out my podcast. My name is PJ, and PJ is out.